Hi. So, shoot. This is gonna take forever. Okay. So I'm using my phone right now, and I'm not gonna show my face at all during this. And, yeah. I will be reading, eating, Battling Demons. It's a Solange book series. It's a second book. If you need to find the first book, it's by which one? Give me a minute. Ghost Queen. And yeah, so I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Warning: this mentions self-harm, homophobia, and bullying. This is not mine. This is by Rick Riordan, the author.
They can't just be on.
And it does have trigger warnings, so please don't read if you have these trigger warnings. Okay, so be prepared for a long video. This is chapter 1. And yeah. It's been 4 months since Leo had returned to Camp Half-Blood. 4 months since Will and Nico had their first kiss. Since Nico and Will made the relationship official in September, he had stayed longer than usual at Camp Half-Blood to make sure Nico was healthy enough. He eventually had to go back to Texas to be with his mother and continue high school. He was in his sophomore year. It was December now. Will would be returning to Camp Half-Blood. He had spoken to Nico at least twice a week. Unfortunately, because of the exams and volunteering at the hospital, Will hadn't talked to Nico in a month. He was unbelievably excited to see his boyfriend. And it was nearing midnight, but Will had never felt more awake. He had gotten off his ship at the hospital at 6 and packed like crazy to get there tonight. He wanted to see Nico and the rest of his siblings. He had ridden a Pegasus to camp. He started grinning as he walked up to a hill. Seeing the big house, he walked through the barrier, leading the Pegasus back to camp. And suddenly, the ground wasn't covered by snow anymore. He thought it would be about letting Chiron know he was back, but he was too excited to see Nico. He led the Pegasus back to the stables. Before turning back to the cabins, he began to make his journey to cabin across to the camp, heading to cabin 13. Nico's face flushed in Will's vision, and suddenly he couldn't wait to see him any longer. He began sprinting, his duffel bag bumping as he ran, heart beating fast. He knocked on the cabin door. He meant to surprise Nico, but he didn't know he was arriving until tomorrow, and hoped that his boyfriend was still awake. When he had got no response, he tried turning the knob, but the door was locked. Will sighed as he rummaged through his duffel, looking for his key to Nico's cabin. He finished it and unlocked the door and pushed it, calling out for Nico. I cannot talk tonight. Moonlight spilled into his cabin, revealing the recently redecorated cabin Nico had spent weeks mentioning. Drawing up a floor plan for his cabin with new furniture. The outside of his cabin was the same dark marble, filtering in Nico's aesthetic, but inside had been completely redone. The small foyer, well, I cannot pronounce that, and at the cabin, Nico had hit their own privacy feed. So, hang on. Give me a minute, please. at the cabin door, and on either side there was 2 bathrooms, so Hazel and Nico could have their own privacy. Then descending into 2 steps, the cabin opened up on either side. There were cabinets where Nico and started keeping food and sweets, and 2 dressers on either side, full of clothing. Starlight full ahead. Straight ahead, beyond the small table with chairs, Nico often ate. Beyond that was a fireplace framed by the curtain windows. There was a couple of couches in front of the flames, and the bunk beds had been replaced with 2 king-size beds. One for Hazel, one for Nico. The one on the right was Hazel's bed. The dark golden curtain surrounded her bed and had been pulled back, revealing her white bedspread, 2 bedside tables on each side. A little farther down, there was a dresser. On Nico's side, to the left, there were black curtains, and they were drawn back. Nico's bed, he also had a dresser, mirroring Hazel's. Will did not know where Nico put just so much furniture. He had to ask. Needless to the new furniture, which looked much nicer than the old stuff. Will dropped his bag on the floor, closed the door, locking it behind him. The room was silent into darkness. He slipped his shoes off, padded over to Nico's bed, pulled back the curtain, just slipping into bed with Nico. He began to pull back the curtains. Oh, shoot. Give me one moment. Okay, where was I? Let's see. Slipping into bed, Nico began to pull back the covers, revealing his boyfriend. Panicked, overlooked, as Will saw the son of Hades was shaking. He had been having a nightmare. Will lightly touched Nico as he was trying to wake him, but pulled away, coloring it onto himself. No, see, this is Italian, so if I try to speak it, I might murder it. So don't get mad at me. No. See it, Bill. Let you know. Flare. No, Nico screamed in Italian. I'm not reading that. No, Will thought. Although Nico could control his dreams, the past couple of times he had done it, he had drained his powers that he had almost faded. Will forbidden him from controlling his dreams, instead giving him sleeping draughts, which promised a dreamless sleep. They had always worked, so the fact that Nico was having nightmares proven that they were either stopped working or Nico had stopped taking them. He stumbled back instead of snapping back to his attention. He grabbed for Nico's hand to try and calm him. Nico, it's okay. It's me. It's Will. Will pushed back the hair out of Nico's eyes, with tears running down Nico's face, and sobs were pretending his pleas. No, normal. Well, it's in Italian again. And Will felt helpless. He wished he knew what Nico was saying. He started shaking Nico's shoulder. He was trying to wake him, but he couldn't do it. Please wake up, Nico. Please. Nico let out a scream and broke Nico's heart. Okay, so where was I? Right, I've lost my place. Nico let out a scream that broke Will's heart. No, Bianca. It's more Italian. Again. He was dreaming about Bianca. That really wasn't good. Although he didn't talk about it, Will knew that Nico had some ways in encountering Bianca while he was in Taurus, which meant he was currently trapped there, and Will couldn't get him out. He started crying with Nico. Nico, he pleaded, please wake up. It's Will. I'm home. Hearing his name broke his heart. It's more Italian. Although Will didn't speak fluent Italian, he recognized those words. Will's name in Italian. Nico was saying he recognized those words. Leo Di Maio. Nico was saying he loved him. He gathered Nico in his arms, ignoring his shoulders. Angel, it's okay. You aren't there anymore. It's okay. I'm here. Nico continued to struggle as he was under attack. Will began to sing softly. As he sang, Nico stopped struggling, but continued to shake. His eyes slid shut as he poured into his heart into the song, holding it on to Nico. Threading his fingers through the son of Hades' hair. Will's eyes opened up and he felt Nico shoot up. Frantically looked around the room, breathing heavily. Will lightly touched Nico's shoulder, and Nico flinched away. He ripped himself around, scrambling. Nico, it's okay. He crawled towards Nico, trying to get away. Nico pulled himself away from the tail of the nightmare. He started to realize that he was in his cabin, not Tartarus. He finally noticed Will. Will, he whimpered, crawling into his arms and started sobbing into his chest. It's okay, baby. It's okay. You're safe. You aren't there anymore. Will held Nico tightly. It took 20 minutes before Nico stopped crying and to get his breathing under control. Nico started to pull away, not looking in Will's eyes. Better? Will asked. Nico nodded lightly. Nico nodded, still looking down. He put his hand on Nico's chin, lifting up lightly, trying to look into his eyes. Nico flinched and grunted in the pain. Will was confused why he had his eyes shut. His eyes nuzzled to Nico's face. Will's chest into his. I can't talk tonight. Okay. Will was confused as to why Nico closed his eyes, nuzzling into Will's face, chest. It was as if Nico was trying to avoid showing his face. I thought. Nico started to say. His voice was swallowed with emotion. He cleared his throat. I thought you weren't getting here till tomorrow. I wanted to surprise you, Will whispered, looking down at Nico. You surprised me. Do you want to talk about it? Nico grimaced into his chest again. And giving Will his answer. You told me you haven't had a nightmare in a while. Your eyes, Will said that Nico's eyes opened up and he shifted, turning away. Will picked up his discomfort. Nico, have you been having nightmares? No. No, his eyes wouldn't meet Will's. Nico, look at me. The ox blue eyes met. Have you been having nightmares? Nico sighed defeated. Yes. How frequently? Almost every night the last month. Nico sucked in a breath. Why didn't you tell me? I could have changed your dosage of the sleeping draught. Nico was looking at his covers as he felt. I didn't want to worry you. I knew you were busy. That doesn't matter. I'm never too busy for you, Nico. He jerked Nico's cheek tightly, providing him comfort. Nico flinched away, still holding his face. Nico's eyebrows furrowed. Nico, what are you hiding? Nothing. Nothing. Will's eyes followed deeper. He saw Nico's glaze flicker to the side table and back into the covers. Will swallows the glaze, sets a bottle of sleeping draught on the table, unopened. No. Have you been taking your sleeping draught, Nico? At that, Nico got off the bed. Nico? No, I haven't. I haven't been taking the stupid draught for a month, Nico spat. Will felt a touch of disappointment. Why not? He thought Nico was getting better. A feel passed over him. Why are you cutting again? Nico hesitated and wanted, which answered the question. A sense of sadness and guilt swept over Will as he slowly walked over to Nico. Let me see. No. Nico gasped his wrist, lunging out of the way. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, Will. Will held his hands up in surrender. I'm just to understand what's wrong, Nico. Why did you stop taking your draught? That's none of your business. Those words sent a surge of anger through Rose. It's my business, Nico. First off, I'm your boyfriend. Second, I'm your doctor. I care about you since you're labeling. Are you sure about that, Solace? You haven't been in here. You haven't been here the last month when I needed you the most. Nico exploded, rounding on Will. Since he gotten up from the darkness of his bed, Will could see Nico's face in the light. His face light of the dying fire revealed the light what Nico thought had been bags under his eyes. It had actually been fading bruises. Nico had a black eye, as well as a fading bruise on his jaw. Will's stomach dropped. He gasped, stepping towards him, grabbing Nico's chin. Nico tried to pull away, but Will had a firm grip. He tilted Nico's head, trying to see the bruise. Aside from it, someone had beaten Nico up. Who did this to you? Nico faced Sin with silence. He started to take a gentle. Hang on. I can't talk tonight. Oh, God. Will faced as the silence faced of silence. He sighed and gently taking Nico's arm, rolled up his sleeve. New gashes had been made scissor cross pattern across his pale arm. Will sucked in a breath. How long have you been doing this? Doesn't matter, Nico said, refusing to look at Will. You weren't here. Nico, I have school. You know that. Nico looked up sheepless. After that, I would have never chosen to leave you if I was given the option. I know that. Will guided Nico to his bathroom, trying to keep his own temper. Well, why didn't you tell me, Nico? You told me you were fine. Why did you lie? I don't know. Nico moved without resistance. Will flicked on the bathroom light, causing Nico to shield his eyes. He sat on the side of the tub before turning to the cabinet, pulling out under the sink, pulling out some medical supplies he had stored in the cabinet. He placed this on the ground. Oh, God. Ground before going back into the cabin. He grabbed the chair, one of the chairs from the table, and returned to the bathroom, seating the chair in the front of Nico, who still hadn't moved. His face was still in his hands. Please tell me what this is about. Nico shook his head. Gently, Will gently removed Nico's hands from his face. The harsh light showed the damage on Nico's face. Bags under his eyes revealed his exhaustion. The fading bruises were shape of fists. Will looked into Nico's eyes. It's nothing, Will excused. Don't lie to me, Nico. Oh, tell me what this is all about. Nico grabbed a towel from the counter. Will grabbed the towel from the counter. No, because I'm weak. Will dropped the bottle of rubbing alcohol before he was holding Nico's words. Nico, you're the opposite of weak. What got you thinking like that? I don't want to talk about it. Will sighed, defeated. He picked up the bottle, unscrewed the bottle of alcohol and poured it onto the towel, started dabbing Nico's arm. Nico hissed in pain, trying to pull away, but Will's grip was tight. Will gripped his arm. I know it hurts, but we've got to get you cleaned up. He started making his way up Nico's arm. He glanced at Nico's face. Tears were streaming down his face. Will decided to put Nico's physically leaping fist first. He seemed to have a lot of injuries. He would... Hang on. Shh. This has to happen again. Give me 1 moment, people. Gotta pause it. I will have the background changed for the next chapter. Don't worry, and I gotta set this up again. Oh God. So I'll have that changed for the next chapter. So when was the last time? Okay, let's see. Nico's physically ready being forced. As he seemed to have lots of injuries, he would have to worry about his mental state after cleaning him up. When was the last time you slept, Nico? Will asked. Tonight, and before that, a week ago. Will closed his eyes and worried. Nico, he breathed. What other injuries do you have besides your arms? Nico shifted. I have some chest injuries. Take off your shirt, Nico ordered. Nico grimaced in pain as he pulled off his shirt. Sorry. Will gasped as he saw Nico's torso, littered in cuts and bruises. Will gasped again as he started tracing the ruins, trying to figure out the extent of the damage. Who gave these to you, Nico? I gave them to myself, Nico lied. Will ignored them. Who hurt you? My dad. Will's eyes are in shock. No, your dad hit you? No. Nico moved to correct. I got them doing stuff for my dad. Will grabbed Nico's upper arm, causing the boy to look up at his eyes. Tell me the truth. Tell me what I stuck up my R sounds. What really happened? Nico looked up in Will's eyes deeply, breathing into Will's eyes. The two boys fought with a silent battle of their gazes. Nico broke it off first. Nico's eyes, his eyes flitting to the ground. A week ago, I was walking in the forest, and I tried to get my mind off everything. I walked up to a kid beating up a younger cat and calling himself. He was calling this kid disgusting for being gay. I got angry, so I confronted the guy, telling him to stop picking on the kid and to pick on someone his own size. Someone his own size. He let the kid go and turned to me. The kid ran. I tried to summon skeletons, but the guy grabbed me, starting beating me up. I don't know how because I passed out. Will's eyes flushed flat in a rage. Will felt a rage of anger all through him. How did this happen? Nico got beaten up a guy for being gay. His worst fears about homosexuality were confirmed. Who did this to you? Nico shook his head, not answering. Will realized what Nico was scared. He felt rage at the person who hurt Nico. He also felt anger for himself. How could he let this happen? Why couldn't he check on him more? Where were Nico's supposed friends? And where was Jason or Percy or your other friends that could have helped you? Nico asked, starting patching up the wounds on Nico's chest. Jason and Piper are in California going to school. Frank, Hazel, and Raina are at Camp Jupiter. Percy and Annabeth are finishing up their senior year of college. Not senior year of college, sorry. The senior year of high school in New York. Leo and Calypso are God knows where on Festus. is I really don't talk to anyone else. And no one at camp has noticed your condition has been improved. No one has messaged you or recalled you or had recently forced God or that what Will or had been doing recently been forced to stop his busy schedule, and anytime he tried to call, it never went through. Nico stood up, shook off Will's hands, which were working on patching up his chest. No one notices me. Oh, shoot. Oh, I hate when my phone does that. Sorry about that. Oh, God, I don't want to restart it. I'm not going to restart, okay? I'm just gonna have to make a blooper video after this. Okay, stay. I'm sorry about that, guys. I know. Okay. No, stood up first. Hang on. Okay, give me a minute. I gotta find where I was. Okay. Shook off. No one noticed me, but it's fine. I'm fine. I noticed you, Nico. Will stand up and walked over and walked so he could get in front of Nico. He brought Nico's chin up, forcing the eyes to meet. I noticed everything about you. You're not fine, Nico. Ooh, and you know that. You know what? That's okay. But you will be okay. And I will be there for you every step of the way. He tilted his head, adjusting the grip on Nico's jaw, careful not to agitate the bruise. Their lips met. Will felt Nico melt against him. Will moved his hands to Nico's waist and encouraged Nico to wrap his legs around his waist. Nico, by not breaking the kiss, so they slowly walked out of the bathroom over to the bed. He laid the son of Hades down, propped over before he broke. I love you, Nico, he whispered. Okay, I know, Nico breathed. I missed you so much. He grabbed Will's face, reconnecting their lips before the two boys could get lost in each other. Will broke off the kiss. Nico rippled in frustration. You're hot, Nico. Let me help you, Will whispered. Nico closed his eyes before nodding. He flicked the lamp beside the table, examining Nico and prepared the bruises lightning on the chest. And located the chest. And I can't read that word. Chest. Most of these looked like they were from monsters, but some looked self-harm. Will sighed heavily and looked at Nico's pants. He put his hand on them slightly. Nico consented, and Nico nodded. Will slowly pulled them off, looking just as he thought, completely ravaged. You've been doing so well. The difference is because past in a different 1 month. The difference of 1 month could make. Okay, no one's coming. You didn't get all of these from your assault, Nico stayed. Okay, Nico said. Will's unspoken question. How did you get them? Will breathed out deeply. Because I'm weak. Why do you keep saying that, Will questioned. Because it's true, Nico explained, his eyes opening as he sat up, resting his elbows. I don't know why he said eyebrows. I can't handle everything that my father is throwing at me. I can't keep training. I keep training and training, but I'm not getting stronger. I should be able to do more. I could have better handle on my powers. Okay. The exhaustion they keep making me. But I don't. I still pass out. I'm even who is to stop my nightmares. Oh God. My nightmares. I have to take the drought to stop them. You know how pathetic that is. That's why I stopped taking them. Because I should be stronger than this. Will's heart broke as Nico told his tale. Nico continued, I'm so weak, so I started cutting again. And I wanted to tell you, but I didn't want to disappoint you. You could never disappoint me, Nico. Oh, Will resumed. Nico laughed bitterly. I can see the look in your eyes, looking at me, at my thighs. You're so disappointed. It's true, but it was true, but Nico did not need to know that. No, my eyes are sad because you didn't trust me. Stream of this. So I'm always here for you. I wanted you to know that. Oh God. I wanted you to know that. Okay. I wanted you to know that. Nico scoffed before laying back down, signaling that the conversation was over. Will sighed and continued looking over at Nico, and his chest wounds would heal nicely with ambrosia and nectar. So Will wasn't concerned, but the sleep deprivation. Will reached to the side table and grabbed the sleeping jar and uncocked it. You need sleeping about anything, he whispered. But he brought the vial to Nico's lips, tipped the contents into Nico's mouth. Nico swallowed it obediently. His body started to relax as the draught took effect. Within moments, the son of Hades was sleeping peacefully. Will sat on the empty vial. He couldn't believe if he or any of Nico's friends had let this happen, so he could even handle. Thought they were too busy for someone or had stayed with Nico. What is so funny? Okay, stayed with Nico as he recovered. He trusted Kayla to do that, but it wasn't her fault. While the chest wounds were healed quickly, Nico had already observed a lot of scars of scar tissue from the cutting. He had also hadn't left the cabins for days, so he had tried to hide his bruises. Nico started humming a hymn to his father, his hands glowing. He ran them across Nico's thighs, kept slowly disappearing. When those had closed up, he moved to Nico's eyes, fading. The heels Will began more and more exhausted. Healing Nico always drained him, but he pushed forward. His hands over Nico's face, the bruises faded, showing no physical trace of the assault. And the emotional impact Will couldn't say. Will stopped his hands glowing from Nico, firmly healed. Dark spots blinked in Will's vision. Uh-oh, he thought. I've overtaxed myself. Will started to black out. He aimed himself by the side of Nico, hoping to avoid crushing the boy. As he hit the pillow, doctors embraced him. Okay, here you go. So that is chapter 1 of Battling Demons. And like I said, I will change the screen. I will change this one for the next chapter. Okay, but so yeah, thank you. Bye.